Hello. We had problems with the first stream. It was, I didn't have the settings quite right, so they were a bit whack. But, it is probably fixed now. We pray? We pray? I don't know. We'll see. This is just gonna be probably testing. I don't know. Combos and such. We'll see if this live gets any viewers at all, and if not, we'll try to put it into VODs and have it as you can watch this 4.5 hour testing if you want. Not that I expect this to run for nearly that long, but nonetheless, it's something that could happen. So, get to testing. I think the first thing that I want to test is one that I haven't tested much because I don't care for Hexa. I think it's bad, actually. So, I haven't used Hexa all that much. However, I've seen people that think it's good with Wizard Rod. So, no sense in not trying Hexa, but I don't particularly like it, how it performs. I don't know. But I guess I'll just, what should I test it against? Because I don't have a second Wizard Rod copy, so it's gonna have to be something else. Maybe just Drawn Buster on, or Drawn Buster stock on flat, I guess. Just as a metric for how much attack power something might have, because Wizard Rod 960 Hexa is kind of used as a defense combo mostly that I've seen. So it's kind of I haven't seen many people use it as a, I mean it has high stamina, but if it's been used, I've only seen it used as defense. So that's something that I've seen. But who knows? Maybe it is meant for attack, and I'm wrong. Attack. Maybe it is meant for stamina, and I'm wrong. But as far as I know, it's only ever been used for defense. Oh, that's a nice breeze. So, stream's going on. I don't know if anybody is here, actually. I have to check, because I don't have a... I have to check. But, yeah, nobody. Cool. Innocence and asking. So, because this could go on VODs, I'm still gonna talk, because there's a chance. And there's a chance that people would show up, so there's always reason. But I'm going to start off with the combo testing. So Drawn Buster combo I mentioned. Wow, that was fun. Immediate KO. That's interesting. Okay. And obviously I'm just how we do things here. And Wizard Rod wins that one, actually. I think Hexa has bad stamina. I don't care what anyone says. Hexa, I have never seen it outspin I have never seen it outspin ball or disc ball or even orb, which I also think doesn't have as good stamina as ball. But I've never, like, I've done testings where I've timed it differently. So like, I've done the testing. I've done the testing, and the time of which that it goes on, or of which that it spins, is more for ball than it is for Hexa. And it's all of the scraping that Hexa does. And I've done this test multiple times at multiple angles to see like, oh, does one angle work better than the other? No, Hexa, I think Hexa won once. Out of all of the different times that I tried it, once did it win. So, I don't know. Maybe I just suck with Hexa, but I genuinely don't think it's at all good. And I don't know why anybody would use it instead of ball. I think it does have better KO resistance, but if we are talking about stamina potential, I think that regular ball outdoes it every single time. I don't think there's a question in that. I think that the only benefits are better KO resistance and better burst resistance, which are benefits, but I don't know that a stamina type as round as Wizard Rod needs better burst resistance. Like, it's already got relatively good burst res. But what do I know? Ooh, it wins again. Nice, good for it. Good for it. So, it can win. And I'm absolutely not saying it can't win. Like, it's still one of the best combos in the game because, it's Wizard Rod on a Sharp. It's going to be good. But my question is it as good as one might think? Is it really that good? And I don't have a second wizard to test. I wish I did, but I don't. But that's not here nor there. As far as I've seen, I prefer ball, but that could just be because I am better with it. So cool. I'm gonna go for ball now. I mean, obviously, anything can happen. Obviously, you never know. But I think X is worse, and that's a hill that I may or may not die on. I don't know. Okay, and of course, right after I say, oh, Hex is worse, Drawn Buster proves to us why Hexa is probably a good suit for it, with its good burst resistance. I also just don't like Hexa, because if it is as good as people are saying, it's too good, ergo I don't like it, because I don't like overpowered combinations. I'm not about that. They make me angry. Like, Beyblade is supposed to be balanced. Like, it annoys me with the power misscaling when they do, like, radically improved combos or radically improved parts and weight creep and all of that. It's like, I just think it's, like, unnecessary how much some of the bays and burst weigh. And I say some of, but most of. But yeah, I don't like weight creep. I definitely think it's one of I think it is the biggest downfall for Beyblade Burst. I think weight creep is the biggest reason that Beyblade Burst sucked as a system, along with part wear, but like that's not here nor there. That's something Takara should have immediately known about. Like common sense tells us that if you have a bunch of thin little plastic pieces that are constantly being worn down by other pieces that are constantly being clicked together, constant friction, whatever, it's common sense tells us that it's going to wear down quite fast and quite easily. So I just think it was like I think it was a dumb mistake that shouldn't have happened, but it did. So like, what are we gonna do about it? First is over. This might be controversial, but I think that Hasbro, you know, in a few ways, did a lot better for Burst than Takara Tomy did. Exhibit A, weighting. Now, I think Hasbro bays are underpowered, and they were underpowered from the start, but they weighed so much, like, their weight up until the very end was, like, the same. And, like, that doesn't sound good for a standpoint if you're comparing Takara Beyblades and Hasbro Beyblades. Like, it's like, oh, ew, Takara Tomy bays weigh 70 grams and Hasbro still weigh 40-something. Like, that's bad. But, like, I think Takara could have learned from Hasbro, actually, and made their bays lighter. Like, I think that Cho-Z was kind of the nail in the coffin for weight creep, because that was kind of like, oh, we're never going back, and oh, we're never recovering from this, you know? Like Cho-Z was the weight killer. Like, it killed all chances of Beyblade X being, or not Beyblade X, but Beyblade Burst being balanced. Because what I like about Beyblade Hasbro, and it's one of the only two things that I like about Beyblade Hasbro for Burst, is that they never got too heavy, and they never got too burst resisty. Like, the base stayed the same weight, which things could be said about. Like, you could argue that's bad because they didn't follow Takara, and that's true. I think that the better option would have just been to follow Takara, but let's say in an alternate universe, Hasbro kept the base lighter. You know, they made most of the changes that they did for Beyblade Burst, but they were still high quality. So, like, single layer Valkyrie was the exact same, except for the fact that it didn't have teeth. It was the exact same, but Ultimate Valkyrie weighed just like maybe 10 grams more at the most, hopefully like 4 grams. Ultimate Valkyrie weighed 4 grams more, but it still had the rubber contact points, and it still had the complex assembly system, and it still had the great driver gimmicks, and it still had this, that, and the other thing that made Beyblade Burst so entertaining, because Beyblade Burst had, since Metal Fight, the biggest tips, the biggest bottom parts, so you could do so much more with them than you could with, I believe, X, and that's one thing that I am worried about for X, is I wonder how creative really they can get with X bits before they, one, run out of ideas, and two, run into, wait, we can't fill this metric anymore. But yeah, I think Hasbro did well with the burst resistance as well, because they stayed the same burst resistance. They didn't delve into dash drivers or anything daft. They kept about the same weight. They kept, they kept the same slopes. Now there was slope variation. Some slopes were tighter than others, but it was still a good metric of like, oh, well, this one can't burst as easy, so I'll use this one. But just because this one can't burst as easy doesn't mean it's better. Like that would have made it perfect. Or, they do the thing where like, oh, they do the X thing, like, oh, the bottom parts are entirely determinate. All attack parts are tighter, and all stamina parts are weaker, which will entice you to use attack parts for hard hitting, but stamina parts if you want to avoid getting hit hard. Like, X is just burst, but good. Not in the way that burst was bad, but in the way that it's just not as good. Like, I love burst. I grew up with burst, as much as I kind of hate to admit it. But it was my childhood. But I immediately still thought that X was better off the bat. Before I even had sword drawn or drawn sword in my hand, I was like, yeah, this is a massive improvement. Because it was, like, they hit hard again. They spin really fast from the start. They've got metal contact points. They've got a cool new gimmick that makes them go really fast. They fixed bursting. Bursting the system doesn't suck anymore. They just fixed and made better so many things that it's like, oh yeah, I like burst, but this is better. It's like that meme, the one that goes like, show me the real blank, and it does it several times, and it show me the real burst, and it shows like a picture of Vault, and then it's like, no, or it shows a picture of Valkyrie, and then it's like, no, show me the real burst, and it's a picture of a drawn sword, because bursting is so much better in X. It's just fixed. I do think ratchets are kind of boring. Like, I think that they are the most boring part of Beyblade X. But if ratchets are to get more depth, like I think they will, like Cobalt Dragoon already showed us what they can do with ratchets, that they can, in fact, make them more intricate. They can give them more specific gimmicks or limitations or but still remain with that same idea of bursting. The only thing that I hope they never do in X is make a tighter piece. Like, I hope that flat is the tightest that you can get, and ball is the weakest that you can get. I hope there is no inside, no what's the word? Variation. I think we should have. Hold on a second. Where is it? Where did it go? I think we should have high resistance and low resistance, and no in between, no overlap, because that just makes it, so much easier for everybody, so much more fun for everybody too. But yeah. Oh, I really don't know if this is going in the VODs. We shall see.